Ring of Honor just had their latest pay-per-view, 19th anniversary, with some interesting matches involving the Pure Championship, World Television Championship, Tag Team titles, and of course, the World title. Also, AEW Dark Elevation just jumped in on their third episode with interesting stack of matches. And also, I will throw in some news updates. So, buckle up and enjoy the DWZ ride. So, all of this will be discussed and reviewed on this episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to Deleted Wrestle Zone. All things that it's pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So today is Tuesday, November 30th, the 30th, I think. Hold on, let me pull up my phone with the date. Yeah, the 30th. Hope everybody's having a good day. Sorry I took too long to make another episode. I'm a little behind. If you guys must know what's going on with me. Recently, I just got vaccinated, for the coronavirus. There were some things that I had to deal with. My arm was bugging me a little bit, but I feel better. Second day, I kind of was tired. I felt like I was lazy, but everything was going great. And of course, been planning a few things that has been going on. Discussion videos I want to do. I'm gonna do one after I do this episode for you guys, and then after that there will be the Tuesday wrestling, which is NWA Power, AEW Dark, and of course Impact Wrestling. But for now, I want to start doing this pay-per-view, which took place this past Friday, March 26th on Ring of Honor. Normally, I'm gonna make some new changes regarding the Ring of Honor shows. So basically, you guys will get the idea of what I'm referring to. So right now, let's just jump into the Ring of Honor 19th anniversary. Okay, so Ring of Honor just did their latest pay-per-view, which is 19th anniversary. They've been around for almost 19 years. They were the largest, the second largest promotion before AEW. But there were some great matches they put up. Now, normally I don't show the pre-show because I thought it was boring, but this one kind of played out pretty well. So this one's called Hour 1, which is an hour of what the matches are going to be, all of that. But however, they throw in some two matches that involved in the Hour 1. So, first match is a Fatal 4-Way match with Brian Johnson, Eli Izum, LSG, and Danhausen. Now, in this match, mostly you get the complaint from Brian Johnson. Now, Brian Johnson has been very vocal about how he's the best wrestler ever. This is his show. He had his issues towards Danhausen many times over. He thinks a guy who's a freak should not be in Ring of Honor, even though he lost against him during a match somewhere in Final Battle for a contract. But Brian Johnson still objects that Ring of Honor made a mistake. Now, much of the match has been like focusing that Brian Johnson is a pain in everyone's ass. I mean, Eli, LSG, and Danhausen had to deal with him. And of course, Danhausen is happy he's in Ring of Honor, and he still asks for his blimp that he was promised to get. What blimp? But anyway, the match was pretty good. I have to say, it showed who is hungry enough. I mean, Danhausen, we all know he's evil. He's happy to be there. Eli, he's supposed to have a good run, but due to the COVID-19 situation, it kind of backfired a bit. But now he's back on track. LSJ is trying to make himself a much bigger, recognizable star as a singles competitor ever since he was part of the tag team duo Coast to Coast. And as for Brian Johnson, he plays a pretty good heel. I'm not sure if he's trying to be like a different type of version of as MJF, who keeps saying that I'm better than you. Basically, in this one, Brian Johnson believes that he is the true star of Ring of Honor, which he did. He even cheated his way through to ensure he wins the match. That's what he did. I'm like, whoa. So he thinks he's the best wrestler, that Ring of Honor is his show. So we'll see what happens. I don't know if the other competitors will get their payback against him, but we'll see for that. Now, this next match was for the Ring of Honor 6-man tag team titles that are being currently held by Shane Taylor Promotions, consisting of Shane Taylor, Moses, and Khan of SOS, facing off the previous champions, the Mexican Squad. If you guys know, the Mexican Squad were unable to put those titles on the line due to the restrictions of COVID-19, but they were able to put the titles on the line, and they lost the titles. The match was pretty awesome, but however, there's now been sort of dissension between both members, two members of Mexican Squad. I'm referring to Flamita and Bandito. They were known as the Mexi Bloods, a great tag team duo. Basically, there's been misfired by both men, and they lost the match. But however, Ray Horace decided, you know what? I know there's problems. We need to fix it, but we need to be as a cohesive unit. And he suggested about a triple threat match between all three members of Mexican Squad. Bandito was down for it, so was Ray Horace, but Flamita was against it. But however, it was later foretold by the board of directors they're gonna have the match anyway, which was good. We'll see that in the main card. And as soon as we were getting ready to start the main card, the commentary team got a surprise visit by the king of sneaky style. I'm talking about Rocky Romero. So he made an appearance. It's great to see him, I know he's made his recent appearance with New Japan Strong, but I have to say I'm happy with him being there, because I do know that I'm not sure if New Japan and Ring of Honor still have a partnership, but we'll see what happens down the line. Give me a minute. All right. First match of the main card we have for the Ring of Honor World Television title. Now, originally it was supposed to be Tracy Williams versus Dragon Lee, but Dragon Lee is out on injury, so he picked a replacement. He picked Kenny King to be his sub as the representative of not only for his spot, but to be the champion. The match seems like it was going well, but things turned when Amy Rose was told by Kenny King to go back to the back. He did not want to compromise certain things, but however, she did get in the way, and it kind of cost Kenny King the title, allowing for Tracy Williams to pick up one title. Now, there's been a lot, and if you guys don't know what I'm referring to, there's been a distinct rivalry between two factions. On one corner, we have the Foundation, who want to make a wrestling Ring of Honor back to bring the honor and purity that it once had, but the La Facción Ingobernable, or as we call them, LFI, they felt, you don't run the show. It's all about chaos, beating people up, humiliation. That's what they believe. But Tracy Williams winning one title, their true goal is to obtain all the titles they can. So this is just one. Next match, we have Flip Gordon versus excuse me. Sorry. Okay, now Flip Gordon versus Mark Briscoe. This match was set because of what happened. There was a number one contendership weeks ago between the Briscoes and LFI members Dragon Lee and Kenny King. But Flip Gordon was paid by EC3 to make sure that the Briscoe loses. Now, Mark Briscoe has always been more of the optimistic and realistic to, we are the Briscoes, we need to obtain the tag titles. But however, Jay is dealing with EC3. Mark decided, you know what? I'm going to get to payback against Flip. So basically, this match kind of went into a grudge match. It was really good. Flip Gordon becoming that mercenary that he is known for. I have to say it was a pretty good match. And however, it ended with Flip winning his match, proving that he will one day get his shot of the Ring of Honor World title that he said he earned. But the real question is, how long would it take? Is the board of directors not going to give him a shot, or is Rush ducking him? Whatever the case is, we'll see what happens. The next match, this is between Josh Woods along with Silas Young taking on Dalton Castle. Now, this happened a couple weeks ago. Dalton Castle beat Josh Woods in a pure wrestling match rules. Silas Young showed up. He was embarrassed to see what he saw, how, James Wood lost the match, but he kind of talked him into it. They decided, you know what? Let's play by actual wrestling rules. Don't bring on the purity, which they did. And however, the match went in another direction when Silas decided to give Woods the chair to whack Dalton, but Woods decided no. So he lost his match because he felt that he did not want to listen, but Silas had had enough of him. So basically, it allowed for Dalton to win his match, but Silas just had enough of him, that he hasn't grown up whatsoever. That's what he's saying. He's telling him, you're just a dumb kid who refused to listen to get the job done, which he could have, but he refuses. This is something that Silas will not tolerate, or whatever he sees. But we may see a rivalry between both Woods and Young in order to see where they're going to go with it. Now, the next match, we have Jay Briscoe versus EC3. Ever since EC3 made his appearance in Ring of Honor, much like he did with Moose, he's telling Jay Briscoe to control his narrative. Basically, he wanted a match for him. He asked him, is Honor really for real? Because recently, ever since the whole thing with having no Honor kind of changed a lot of the things. But it was a good match. There was a moment where Briscoe played a little mind games, and that's allowed him to win against EC3, and that ends like that. But in the end, EC3 and Jay actually shook hands and showed the respect for one another. So this could be a squash thing that took place. Now, the next match was already been set at the end of hour 1 in the pay-per-view. We have a triple threat match between all members of the Mexi Bloods. Now, from the way this match was being set, I don't know if you guys can tell, or those who haven't, this seems like a fight between the two members of Mexi Squad, Flamita and Bandito. He's telling him, this is your fault that we lost the titles. So basically, it's more like, but Ray Horace was kind of like pushed to the side by Flamita, like saying, you're not my problem, Ray Horace. Bandito is. So Flamita sees Ray Horace is that Ray Horace is not a problem for him. It's Bandito. So they're kind of throwing this match where we could have see this match between both Bandito and Flamita down the line. But the real question is, could this be the end of Mexi Squad? We don't know, because however the match ended, of course, in Bandito's way. They thought with this match they could squash their little problems, let go whatever grudge they were having. Flamita seems like he didn't want none of it, so he walked away. Now, this next match is an unsanctioned match because there's been now the rivalry between Vincent and Matt Taven has been escalating. Vincent felt that Matt Taven has been manipulating people to say yes to him, and Vincent tried to make it look like that Matt Taven's the bad guy in the entire story. And practically that's how it's been the entire time. Trying to say that Ring of Honor people should stop saying yes to Matt Taven, but this time the Ring of Honor side, you know what, this is not going to end. We need to let them kill each other. However, this was an unusual match. They went back to their roots where they first met at a wrestling academy. But the match went everywhere around the building, but it did not. It ended in no contest when a mysterious Hulk-looking figure showed up and kind of slammed both of them over the edge and landed on a table. But this guy decided to carry Vincent out of the building. Don't know what to make of it. Neither did the commentators, but we'll see what happens in the upcoming episode of Ring of Honor. Now, Lethal is well aware that he's facing Rush for the title, but he made one request to Todd Sinclair. Now, this request was very unusual. Now, for those who don't know, La Facción Ingobernable will do anything in their power to help each other one and out. But when it comes to the world title, this is something different. Jay Lethal knows if La Facción Ingobernable interferes or they get caught interfering, the match will go to Jay Lethal, but however, Rush will remain the champion. So he's telling Sinclair, please, do not let them get away with this. So he's telling them, do not do anything. Let it happen. Now, Tom Sinclair is bound by honor and law. He has to call it. But he knows it. But will that happen? Well, we'll get to that in the end soon. Now, we had a very surprising visit. Now, one of the interviewers, Quinn McKay, has brought now a new person, I think, who's in charge of the women's division in Ring of Honor. You may know her, Maria Canelos Bennett. Yes, the sexy redhead. Maria is back in Ring of Honor. She seems like she has a position there. Looks like she may be in charge of the women's. However, her biggest announcement, I already mentioned before, this was for the relaunch of the ROH Women's Championship Tournament. Now, this was supposed to take place last April, but due to the COVID, they had to postpone it. So as soon as this announcement took place, it's going to happen in the summer. All of a sudden, they receive a visit from the Allure, consistent of former TNH Knockouts champion and tag team champion Angelina Love and her partner, not Velvet Sky, Mandy Leon. Angelina is demanded she wants a spot in the tournament. But Maria said, you have to earn it. Now, she feels like she didn't need to earn it. But she does. But she did state it, you haven't had a match for a year. And of course, she said it's not her fault. Of course it's not. So the only way she's going to earn it is that she has to wrestle someone. And that person is Quinn McKay. Now, Quinn McKay had dealt with the Allure. They've been harassing her prior before they were suspended. And Quinn may get her shot to get revenge against Angelina Love for her behavior and bullying. So we'll get to that. When that happens, I will follow up more on that story. Now, the next match, this is for the Ring of Honor Pure Championship match. This is between Dak Draper and Foundation member Jonathan Gresham, or as people call him, the Octopus. This match was unbelievably good. Now, this could have gone the Dak Draper way, not because I say so. He was able to have Jonathan Gresham ran out of rope breaks. Now, in pure championship rules, you have if you need a break, you have to grab the rope. You only get 3 shots. So it ended like that, but somehow Jonathan Gresham was able to overturn it to Dak Draper. Now, when Dak Draper's rope breaks ran out, he tried to use a 4th, but there was no. Apparently, the rule is if you ran out of rope breaks and you grabbing the rope, you can lose the match in any way. And he did. Jonathan Gresham put up a hell of a chokehold that allowed him to retain the title. So basically, Foundation has 2 titles in their midst. Now, this is only one of few titles they will have to gain away from La Facción Ingobernable. Which leads now to the next match for the Ring of Honor Tag Team titles. This is between Foundation members, the newly crowned ROH Television Champion Tracy Williams, and Red Titus, taking on Kenny King and Bestia del Ring. And of course, Amy Rose once again by their side. Now, Kenny didn't want her to be there because they don't know it. They know they could win, but this was too important for them. Match was great in every way. But however, it ended again. Once again, Amy Rose cost Ring of Honor, La Facción Ingobernable, their titles. And costing them to lose it to Foundation. Even Amy Rose flipped Kenny and they decided, okay, we're done. So they shook hands, but however, Bestia speared her. So it looks like their business relationship with them is over. But the real question is, can they hold on to the world title, which is the next match between Rush and Jay Lethal. Match was pretty interesting. As you can tell, Rush is the total badass who refuses to play by the rules. And that's what he's been doing. But however, like Jay Lethal predicted, he knew La Facción was going to get involved, but he told Todd Sinclair not to call the match when they're there. He wanted to ensure that he wins even if they're there. But however, it did not end exactly in his favor. Rush pulled up a huge victory and they won the match. I mean, he won the match completely. Now Foundation came out to deal with them, but however, they were no match for them. Post-match, however, it's the interesting part. Brody King showed up saying that I have forgotten how you guys went 4-on-1. The numbers game. But he stated that he had a numbers game. The guy who comes out to join him was Tony Dippin, and Kenny thought, oh, he's ridiculous. But all of a sudden, the biggest surprise is who sided with him. We're talking about former ROH champion Homicide and Chris Dickinson. They extremely took off La Facción and of course Jay Lethal. It appears now another faction is making their presence and the honor could be falling apart, which something Jay Lethal will not tolerate. Neither would the Foundation. So the real question is, what does this mean? Is the honor that the Foundation is trying to bring back not coming true because of La Facción Ingobernable cost it? I don't know. It's kind of interesting. They're trying to bring back honor, but honor is not being in the process. But we'll see what happens in the fallout. So right now, let's end it right here and move on to AEW Dark Elevation. Alright, AEW Dark Elevation is now entering their third episode. So far, the first two episodes were good. I did enjoy the matches they have, but this particular one had some interesting matches. It went over 2 hours. I think they went up almost to 2 hours and a half. Some great stuff that they put out. Let's go from start to finish where they go. As you know, Jon Moxley is not in a good mood due to that Eddie Kingston is hurt. He is dealing with the sudden conspiracy, how he lost the world title to Kenny Omega. But we do know he will get his hands on that title sooner or later. Now, the first match, we have the very newly formed partnership between JD Drake and Ryan Bennett taking on Chuck Taylor and Orange Cassidy. And the good news is, it appears that Tony Khan once again got the rights to give Orange Cassidy new music. It was pretty good, I have to say. He did the same thing with Jungle Boy with Tarzan Boy. I enjoyed it. The match was good. Not to mention Ryan Bennett, who dealt with Orange Cassidy. But it did end it with Orange Cassidy pulling up the victory with 2 times the Superman punch on JD Drake, allowing for Chuck and Orange Cassidy to win. But however, they receive a surprise visit from the men they're going to face in the Arcade Madness match. I'm talking about Kip and Miro. And they gave a piece of their minds, telling them that they're going to destroy them. Miro has no intentions of having Chuck as his butler. He wants to end him. And of course, Kip saying that you must be stupid. You're in our world. We'll just see what happens when we see that match. Next match, we have Bill Collier taking on Jon Moxley. Interesting match. Jon Moxley's still the same guy as we know. He even pulled off the Bulldog chokehold on Bill Collier. I'm just going to go straight to the win. And he actually won by an impressive. Really good match. Next thing we have, earlier today, was revealed that Cody once again gave away a nightmare weight belt to a young boy who was watching the event. It's a great thing to see, because we don't normally see this type of things on televisions, but this time it did. Really kind of Cody to do that for everybody, especially to give to the young audience who are loving their shows. So it's pretty cool to see that. Now, the next match, we have a women's match. We have Penelope Ford along with Kip taking on Layla Gray. Now, I have to say, a lot of things that Penelope Ford has done recently, she hasn't been proving a lot. I know she hasn't been on Dynamite that much, but I think Dark kind of helped her to improve a little bit of her skills as a wrestler, which something it develops, because we normally don't see that with WWE. Like, they just put these guys in dark matches on the Performance Center mostly, but that's how they run. But she actually won her match with that interesting move that she does. Next match, we have a 6-man tag. We got the Gun Club, Billy, Austin, and Colton taking on Rex, Lawless, and Milk Chocolate. Now, I don't know who Milk Chocolate is, but I'll tell you anyway who won. You can guess anyway. It's the Gun Club. It's always, because you see Colton and Austin, they are very wild kids. I mean, Big Show did, or should I say, Paul White says he remembers them as kids, but now that they're grown up, they're becoming a fiery team along with their dad, which is true. So I really like this. Now, as we head on, Alex Marvez had an interview with Thunder Rosa, who we all know now. She had a fantastic match last week on, 2 weeks ago on Dynamite, for the unsanctioned Lights Out match against Thunder Rosa. And she is proud to represent all of women of wrestling. But however, it appears that one person does not agree with her. That person is one half of the winners of the women's tag team tournament, the Amante. Of course, she did tell her just name the place, anytime, anywhere. So we may see a match between those two. Don't know when that will happen, but I would like to see it. Next match we have is Joey Janela along with Sonny Kiss against a guy named Chandler Hopkins. Now, I don't know who this guy is. He had like this interesting cowboy looking, but man, this guy knows certain things how to in the ring when he flew off the ring over the top of the ropes. But of course, you can guess it right away that Joey Janela won, which was interesting to see. Now, the next interview we have is Dasha interviewing Jack Evans, who is scheduled to face Jungle Boy. Try to tell him, Jungle Boy is nothing, all this and that. So basically, that's how it is. Next match, we have Alex Gracia taking on Thunder Rosa. Now, if you guys know this or not, Thunder Rosa actually trained Alex Gracia herself. Always took her on her wing. She's part of her Texas squad. She even appears in Mission Pro Wrestling. But it's great to see mentor and teacher face off. Again, this is not the first time these two face off. But however, I can see a little bit of the improvements with Alex. If you guys need to know, she is not officially signed with AEW, but she's looking forward to be signed anywhere. But we don't know when would that happen. I hope she improves more. But if you must know, I heard right now that she is going to appear in NWA Power, I think this coming episode, and that will be reviewed later. But as you can guess, Thunder Rosa always wins her matches. Next match is another women's match. We got The legit Layla Hirsch taking on VIPRES. I have to say, I do like Layla Hirsch because she's a bit of the old school style of wrestling, but however, she adds a little bit of the new. But I do like how she ends her matches with with the armbar submission, which is her top move that she does, and I'm very impressed by that all the time. So she won her match with an armbar. Next match is Danny Limelight taking on Frankie Kazarian, but it was revealed by Paul White saying that Frankie has something new that he's going to put out in his match. Now, I didn't know what it was, but later it was showed how it ended. It was a fantastic match. It was good. I enjoyed it, but the ending was a bit of a surprise. It's not something new, but it's an old move that has been used many times over. Frankie used the crossface chicken wing. You know who used that move. We have Asuka who's done it, Marty Scurll, many wrestlers. This is an old school move, but it's a good effective move, and I have to say that's how he won. But however, he received a surprise visit from Christian Cage, who is going to face this coming episode of Dynamite. So I'm very excited to see this one, but we'll see where we're going to go with that. Next match, we got Fuego del Sol taking on All Ego Ethan Page. You can guess right away that Ethan Page won because he's all about his own ego. And that's what he does. You know, he's all ego and everything. But however, there was an interview later on where he feels like, okay, I won, but you guys are wasting my time in Dark. He wants to go to Dynamite where he feels he can shine. Now, that's a good ego to be placing at. Like, he knows he's that good, but we'll see where they're going to go with that. Next match, we got a very unusual team. We got Tay Conti teaming up with Hikaru Shida. Now, keep in mind, Paul White made a fantastic point. Tay Conti is number one in the rankings who could face Hikaru Shida for the title. Now, it's only a matter of time when that happens. But one thing for sure, they both came out in match in gis, in different colors. Because if you guys know, Tay Conti has a belt degree in judo, and I think she's trained in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm not sure. Hikaru Shida has a bit of the martial arts standards in her background, but it fits perfectly. They faced off against Jasmine Allure and Tasha Price, and of course, I can tell you that Shida and Conti won their match. And I like how they bow to each other. It's kind of like, if you guys are martial arts, you bow down, you bow as a sign of respect. That's how it worked. I like the combination. But as you know, Tay Conti in this association with Anna Jay. We'll see what happens down the line. If Shida has Tay Conti to challenge for her title, I'm very down to earth to see it. Next up is Jack Evans along with Angelico taking on Jungle Boy and bringing alongside Jurassic Express. I have to say the match was pretty amazing, even though they're both great competitors. But I think the surprising is how the match ended. It ended where Jack Evans jumped off the turnbuckle, but somehow Jungle Boy grabbed his leg and put him in the snare trap like that. That's impressive. If you don't see that you can do something like that. I mean, who could forget how Randy Orton pulled off an RKO on Evan Bourne, aka Matt Sydal? I mean, that's impressive. So Jungle Boy won his match with applying the snare trap. Now, this next match was a little unusual. We have Lee Johnson teaming up with QT Marshall. Now, we do know what happened between them when QT was in Lee Johnson's side. He just quickly abandoned him, didn't do anything when he was getting beat up. But however, it seems like everything is a little bit normal, and so that's what was going on. So they were facing off Adam Priest and Aaron Fry. But I can tell you anyway that they won. There was no hiccup, but we'll see what happens this coming Wednesday on Dynamite with QT Marshall. So that's pretty much what happened that time. This next match is another women's match. This is Kylan King versus Ryobi Tsunami. Now, please take note here. This is Tsunami's last appearance on AEW. It's already been revealed that she already left for Japan. I know it's a sad day. I know some of you who've been watching Tsunami ever since she first arrived. I know some of you who've seen her in the very first pay-per-view back in 2019. But that, I know somewhere down the line we could see Tsunami come back. Because AEW has given her an opportunity to be there, not only on the first pay-per-view, but being part of the Women's Eliminator Tournament. I know a lot of fans would love to see her again, but the match was great. Don't get me wrong. And I think Kylan King felt great honor to be her opponent before she left to Japan. And she's really great. Not to mention her finisher, the leg drop guillotine. I like it. And that's how she always wins her matches. So thank you, Tsunami, for coming to AEW. Hope we get to see you soon. But I will try to see whatever promotion you're down in Japan. I'll watch those. Now we have a tag team match. We got members of the Dark Order. 5 and 10 taking on D3 and Valerie Morales. But you can guess right away, Dark Order wins. Yeah, that's the case. Now, Bear Country has been one of the most impressive teams ever. I love their style. They really impress me. But however, they're put to the test against Private Party. But however, things didn't go exactly their way because Marco Stunt decided to take care of Matt Hardy. But it also cost Bear Country the match. But it appears we could see a rivalry between both Jurassic Express and Bear Country. Now, I don't feel like this was built up for a rivalry with Matt Hardy and company. I think this could be a rivalry between the Bears and the Dinosaurs and the Caveman. So that's how I see it. I don't know when. Don't know when it's going to be the official matchup, but it will be good to follow. Main event time. We got Mike Seidel, not Matt. Mike Seidel taking on Scorpio Sky. Match was great. It was really awesome, but however, Sky has become the heel that he said he was going to be. He finished him off with the leg submission, but Mike actually tapped out, but Sky refused to let go. Matt Seidel showed up to give a helping hand, but Ethan Page showed up helping him. Now, I don't know where they're going to go, what's going on here, but we could see Page and Sky team up against the Seidel brothers. So, it was very unusual to see those two pair up, but I have that feeling we may see those two on Dark or Elevation as a tag team, taking on the Seidel brothers. So I think that's it for now for AEW Dark Elevation. So let's move on with some news updates. Alright, so welcome to the news updates. Now, as you know, recently with WWE, Carlee Caruso is nowhere to be seen or hasn't heard, but there's been constant reports about her being fired or her departure or her contract was up. Well, it did reveal that she is no longer with WWE, but however, it did tell right now, coming from Wrestling Inc., that she is now working full-time with ESPN. I have to say it's a great opportunity for her, at least where I think for many fans probably are happy that she finally got a good job in. You know, ESPN's a great organization, not gonna lie about that. We wish nothing for the best for her. Hopefully we get to see her, whatever she's interviewing or commentating or whatever her position is with ESPN. So congratulations on your new job, Carlee. I know many fans will show your support, so we can't see you. We're gonna do enough in ESPN. Now, next news is coming from Impact. This is a bit of a spoil alert. It's just now revealed by Impact that Eric Young is going to be out of action for 6 months. He torn his ACL during a match against James Storm, but I know what some of you are thinking. It's like, J-Rod, isn't that match today on Tuesday? Yes. If you guys must know, all their shows are pre-taped. So basically, they decided to post it out there in case anybody's asking, you know. But Eric Young is self-aware. He's never been injured like this before. So it kind of could be nerve-wracking, but the real question is, what is his position as a role as the leader of Violent by Design? We'll just got to wait and see what's going to happen. It all depends on what Impact will think, you know. If they're just going to put him on the show, just acting as being the leader that he is, we don't know. But I'm kind of curious to see how this is going to play out. Now, as you know, I've been talking about Andrade recently. Rumors are surfacing that Andrade is teasing to go to Ring of Honor. Now, some of you are saying, but J-Rod, we would rather see him at AEW. Sure, but you're forgetting a factor that is in Ring of Honor. I'm talking about Nada Pasa without me saying so, perros. I'm talking about Rush. If you guys know the history about Andrade and Rush, Andrade was known as La Sombra, one of the co-founders of the infamous faction known as Los Ingorbenables. No, just plain Ingorbenables. Not la facción Ingorbenable, not Ingorbenable de Japón. La Sombra was one of the founders along with Rush, and of course another wrestler who's no longer with the company of CML called La Máscara. But it would make sense to see Rush join his old pal, who was his co-founder of La Facción Ingorbenable. So it would make a lot of more sense. He was known to be the villain faction. If you guys know this too, it was Andrade, or should I say La Sombra, who introduced Tetsuya Naito to join Los Ingorbenables when he was on excursion for 1 year in Mexico. So it would make sense for him to join La Facción. But I want to give you guys the heads up. As soon as I finish with this episode and editing it, I will release the discussion episode about Andrade. Because I know there's a lot of things that has been revealed about what's been going on with him. So, hopefully that's the case of him going to Ring of Honor. To be honest with you, I would say I'm okay with the idea. You know, it would make a lot more sense. Now, the last thing on the news updates, if you guys have seen it or not, we just unveiled a brand new IWGP title, the IWGP World Heavyweight title. Now, as you know, they already retired the IWGP Heavyweight Championship and the Intercontinental Championship. And I have to say, part of the title, like the plate itself, has like kind of similarity of the American Nightmare logo. But don't know what to make of it yet. I'm going to try to get used to it. So if you guys haven't seen it, you should. If you guys haven't, look it up. It's on YouTube. You can see the unveilment. This took place today in Japanese time. But hopefully you guys will appreciate it. But I don't know. I'm still trying to get used to it. It's a big change here for New Japan, especially for the fans here in America who have been following New Japan for who knows how long. But we'll see what happens. So I think that's it for now. Hope you guys enjoy me reviewing Ring of Honor's 19th anniversary, AEW Dark Elevation, and of course these news updates. Like I said before, stand by for another video where I'm going to talk about Andrade on the DWZ discussions, and also more on Tuesday Wrestling, which is going to happen today. And after that, the Road to Sakura Genesis is also coming up. So there'll be plenty more things coming up soon for upcoming videos. So be patient with me. I will do the best I can. There's still some Japanese wrestling I need to catch up with. A little behind maybe for a month or maybe month and a half. I'm not sure. But we'll see what happens down the road. So I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time on this DWZ channel. So I must bid all of you adieu. So goodbye. Mwah. and have a nice day. Bang!